All right, this is the second day and we're back for doing the air conditioning on this. I explained in the last video of today's video on this vehicle. There was yesterday, there was like 3 videos. Right now I'm about to add the nitrogen to the gauges because this was disconnected overnight to bring the gauges up to the pressure that I filled the vehicle up with dry nitrogen yesterday. This is not the most perfect way to do it, but the customer needed his vehicle and I really want to make sure there was no leaks on this vehicle because of how much work was put into this to get it all right. And everything is originals from 1962, including the hoses. So I'm gonna shut off the vacuum source, and right now I'm open vacuum to the refrigerant hoses, and we're down to below with the compressor running, with the vacuum still going. I'm down to there. It'll rise after I turn it off, and that's to be expected, but all I want to do is see what it's capable of doing prior to my test. For automotive, that's way overkill, going down to 100 or below. So I have the nitrogen hooked up here to the bottle. This would be your refrigerant line, which it's going to go to this port right here. And I have this loosened up so I could purge any air that's in there that was under vacuum. So I'll open it. You hear the air leak. Okay. So now this is filled up with just nitrogen. So now I'm going to open it up so I could bring the pressure up to 150. So here I am adjusting the regulator. When I turn this inwards clockwise, the pressure goes up, and you can see the pressure going up. And I'm going to go up to somewhere around 150. 30, 40, we're getting there. Okay, that's good enough. Let me kill it. Okay, a few PSI over. I'm not going to really worry about it because the actual volume of this hose, it'd be nicer if I brought it back down a little bit. The volume of the hose put into the system will be minuscule. So now let me crack it a little bit. Okay, release some, and you see how much that went. There's 150 psi, 151 psi. That little squirt dropped at 10 psi, 9 psi. So now I'm going to connect it, and we're going to see what we have. There we go. Oh, we got more than 150 psi, so I'm satisfied with that. It held overnight, no problem. So now I can drain the nitrogen out of the system. I'm going to hook up the low side, and remember I put the majority of the nitrogen through the high side, and it swept through the system after it was on a vacuum. Now I'm going to draw it out of the low side to pull the sweep in this direction to sweep any residual moisture. Moisture comes out of the pores of the metal and the surface of the contaminants and oil, but this is flush, so it's dry inside. Literally the moisture molecules come to the surface of the pipe and they just sit there and they move nowhere. Well, now we have a gas as a medium to push it and sweep it out of the way as we draw a vacuum on the other side. So I gotta put my hands down and do the rest of this, see if I could show it on the next video.